Sports are good. They are exciting and they can get pretty darn serious as well. If you ask a true fan of any sport, they might use a wide range of adjectives to describe it and describe what they feel. It was exhilarating but fun. Today, let's talk about the funny moments in different sports, from athletes toasting to energy drinks to photo ops gone wrong. There's a lot to laugh at and have a good time. Are you excited? Let's go to our drop-down list of 17 funniest Staredown moments in sports. Number 1. Sean O'Connell. UFC fights are serious, and when the contestants actually enter the ring, all that is left with them is the focus on winning. But it doesn't have to be serious before that as well. Sean O'Connell has a funny way of dealing with the weigh-ins. He likes to crack jokes or do things spontaneously. Like once, during a weigh-in, he gave Lear Latifi some flowers. Isn't that quite a nice gesture? And just so you know, it was not a one-way effort, as Latifi reciprocated by offering candy to Sean O'Connell. Do you think that they might meet up after a fight for a wholesome dinner? Number 2. Sean O'Connell. Sean O'Connell has earned quite a reputation for stirring things in the unprecedented direction. He once joined the weigh-in all ready to fill the air with some soapy bubbles. Even though that was quite childish, his opponent, Steve Bossy, did not share the enthusiasm and remained stoic, staring, and tough. Number 3. John Jones and Anthony Johnson. Have you ever planned a prank and executed it till the end? Because John Jones and Anthony Johnson did that on Dana White, and they were quite successful in giving the perception of a legit stare-down and fight. They pretended that they were getting into a verbal debate, and that had led them to a fight. Dana thought it was all serious and tried to separate the two, but it turned out that both of them were pranking him. That is pranking done right. Number 4. Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao has quite a reputation for not staying serious during a stare-down competition. We think he is not one of those guys who can maintain serious expressions while staring in the eye of his opponent. And the same thing happened with him when he was staring at Joshua Clottey. He started laughing in Clottey's face, and that turned the serious moment into a really funny one. Number 5. Fabricio Werdum and the steel chair. Some of these athletes take the stare-down to another level with their clever antics. It would be safe to say that Fabricio Werdum is one of them. During one face-off, it seemed like he was about to hit Alexander Volkov with a steel chair. It would have been quite an issue if he had gone ahead with that idea. The twist is that his idea was just to create some sensation and nothing else. But all he did was stand up on the chair to stare at Alexander Volkov. Safe to say that he was quite successful in surprising everyone with his antics. Number 6. Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman. Have you ever seen a stare-down where both players kept decreasing the space between them and it eventually resulted in eye-to-eye and lip-to-lip? No? Neither had we before this. Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman got down to a staring competition that was more fun and less staring, mainly because they kept closing the distance between them, and it eventually resulted in their lips touching each other for just a second. They weren't trying to be funny, but it was definitely hilarious to watch. Number 7. Marquez Perez and Joker. Marquez Perez once turned up to his weigh-in with his face completely hidden. When he reached the spot, he uncovered his face, and what came out was Heath Ledger's Joker face. Handed to him to turning quite an interesting and serious event into a comical one. The audience loved it, and he also seemed happy with the right reaction from the crowd. Number 8. Paige Van Zandt and Michelle Waterson. Leave it to Paige Van Zandt and Michelle Waterson to show complete sportsmanship while entertaining the crowd with their moves. During a UFC face-to-face in 2016 between Paige Van Zandt and Michelle Waterson, things turned interesting when the stare-down turned into a dance-off. Safe to say, both of them got moves that showed they were more than prepared for any sudden dance-off. Number 9. Pat Barry and Steven Struve. How do you think a face-off between a 5'11" and a 7-foot player would go? Pat Barry, who is 5'11", and Steven Struve, with 7 feet of height, had to stand in a face-off. With Barry off from the scale, the height difference was extremely visible, and it made the moment comical. He stared at Steven Struve and left smiling at the comical difference between their heights. Number 10. Ryan Jimmo and Sean O'Connell. It was the face-off between Ryan Jimmo and Sean O'Connell when both of them decided to do the face-off with their energy drinks. They did their face-off with a toast of energy drinks. It was quite a moment. See, you can toast with a healthy drink too. Number 11. Elvin Manhoff and the short height. During a face-off between Elvin Manhoff and Remy Bonjeski, the height difference between them was very visible. Elvin Manhoff was shorter, and Bonjeski was the taller one. All of this made it quite hard for Manhoff to stare down Bonjasky, so he improvised. He pulled up a chair and stood on it to stare at Bonjasky. Number 12, Manny Pacquiao and the hilarious face-off. Manny Pacquiao has quite a reputation for not remaining serious during a face-off. During a face-off photo with Brandon Rios, he was so caught up with it that he accidentally faced the opposite direction for the photo op of a face-off. He was then corrected to look in the correct direction. Number 13, Tom Lawler and the Shockmaster persona. Sometimes you plan things to leave a certain impressive and shocking effect, but it doesn't always happen. That was also the case with Tom Lawler and his Shockmaster persona. Do you want to know what happened? Well, then keep on watching. He was stepping in with all the plans of giving a perfect Shockmaster persona, but he fell face forward on the floor while stepping in, and his mask went loose in the process. Funny for us, and quite sad for him. He ironically picked it up and placed it on his face, only to take it off a few moments later. Number 14, Tyson Fury and Sefer Safari. Tyson Fury and Sefer Safari's Staredown is the funniest and hilarious one for us. During a face-off, things were already getting comical due to the height difference between Tyson Fury and Sefer Safari. But Tyson Fury took it up a notch by picking up Sefer Safari in his arms so that they can have a proper staredown. It was quite a comical, fun, and lighthearted moment to watch. Everyone cheered and clapped, and the face-off got off to a very interesting start. Number 15, Jason Barrett and Alex Reed. It seems like to us a quick kiss on the lips can also be a clever and quick way to start things off in the wrong direction with your opponent. It is more popular than we thought it would be. You don't trust us? Take a look at this face-off between Jason Barrett and Alex Reed. The stare-down between Jason Barrett and Alex Reed was quite a serious one when Reed decided to stir things up a little. He came close enough to kiss Barrett on his lips. That made Jason Barrett the maddest and gave everyone else something to laugh about. Number 16, Angela Hill and posing as Sagat. Face-offs between female athletes can also be funny and full of lighthearted moments. Take a look at this one as Angela Hill posed as Sagat. You will understand yourself. Angela Hill posed as Sagat, and she went for extreme perfection by including the infamous eye patch that was a part of the character in the game, and she even moved like the character. All of it led to her finishing it off with the famous Sagat scream in the end. It was quite a hilarious moment to watch and enjoy. Now you believe female athletes can be funny? Number 17, Sean O'Connell and pizza. So, the last one on our list is Sean O'Connell again. Let's see what he did this time. Sean O'Connell is really from another universe with his funny antics and fun-loving light gestures. One such gesture was shown during a face-off between him and Ronnie Marquez. He brought a large-sized pizza during a face-off between him and Ronnie Marquez. The good thing was that his gesture was well appreciated and accepted by his opponent, who accepted the pizza. So folks, that was all from our side. Games don't have to be serious and uptight all the time, specifically UFC fights. Many athletes and players prove that on and off with their silly antics, light gestures, and heartwarming attributes. Which stare-down in this list was your favorite one? Comment down below and tell us why. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like this video. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified for our future videos. See you next time!